I'll please suck your dick, please. I'll do anything. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your fucking shit. I'll eat your fucking shit. I love you, dude.
Yup. The Boys season 8 happened. It's been a day since it's been out. I've been sitting on the thoughts of how bad it is. The show is really bad. Season 5 entirely has been pretty bad. It's pretty obvious. Everyone knew it. There was way too much in too little time to really have a satisfying ending. And this show, or this episode, mostly proves that it's kind of crazy 7 years just to get to this. I mean, I could break down, which I'm going to do, about some of the few things that don't make sense. I guess we could start with the obvious that Homelander's death was pitiful. It was stupid. People were saying like Homelander would always act like this. Homelander has never hinted at being the type of guy who would cry at the face of death. This is the same person who went against 3 Supes. He went against Homelander, Butcher, and Huey, and was pinned down, and was about to get blasted, get his powers taken away, or in his eyes, probably die, and he did not cry. This is the same person who fought 3 Supes. He fought the one person that could kill him by himself. He fought Butcher by him at the same time, and Huey at the same time. He's never hinted that that would be the response if he would almost die. It's pretty obvious that the TV show has we already know that the writer was so hell-bent, was so caught up in making a Trump allegory. He even throws Elon Musk in the last episode. It's so boring that he did that. It makes no sense. Like, instead of being remembered as a good show, he would rather people get a dopamine hit for now. Like, Trump lives rent-free in a lot of these creators' minds. A lot of these creators, Trump doesn't care. You think Trump watches The Boys? The Boys, and it's pretty sad, because The Boys will not be remembered a month from now. A month from now, the Boys universe is gonna be forgotten. And I really feel bad mostly for Anthony Starr, because Homelander is such a very, very good actor. Anthony Starr, he's already on interview saying, and the writer said, like, Anthony Starr tried to push back on the Trump allegory. He didn't want that in The Boys. He just wanted to play an evil superhero. In Homelander, Anthony Starr, I'll give him his credit. I think he's one of the best actors who portrayed a character of all time. I think he's up there with Jack Sparrow as Johnny Depp, or Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. I think he's up there with Tony Stark, Captain America, Wolverine. You can name anybody. I think Anthony Starr he did his best job. And it's kind of sad because he won't be remembered as the guy who did an excellent job as Homelander. He'll be remembered as Homelander crying and begging to eat shit to stay alive. I think it would have been more fitting for Homelander to just accept his death. He lost. I feel like Homelander seems like the type of guy who would insult Butcher before he dies. He seems like the type of person who would say, "You'll never get Becky back. Becca, I already killed Frenchie." That seems like the type of outing he would go on. But people, I guess because he's like evil, people are like, "Oh well, it was always." I don't know why people think just. I think people want to tell themselves that someone who's strong when they're weak, which is coward. I've seen people say like Soldier Boy would do the same thing. No, that's not how it works. Villains just don't do that. But I guess people are happy because it's supposed to be a Trump allegory, and it's funny. It's funny because I've seen people defend like, oh, it's actually not a Trump allegory. No, no. The creator of The Boys have came out multiple times and says it is. The actor even tries to push back against it. Um, they literally kill Elon Musk in the episode. Uh, I think Huey killing Butcher is a mistake. I mean, why didn't Kimiko just get rid of the powers of Starlight and then try to get rid of the powers herself? Kimiko was already fine with dying. If it meant releasing the virus into the universe, Kimiko was already fine with dying. So why didn't Kimiko get rid of the powers like she did Sister Sage to Starlight and didn't release the virus? I'll tell you why, because the writers don't want you to think about stuff like that. Um, so much stuff in this final episode was annoying. Homelander speed is so inconsistent. Why doesn't Homelander, the moment he lasers Kimiko, laser Butcher and just leaves? It's stated in the fight multiple times that if he lasers you, you are dazed for like 30 fucking seconds. But he stays. And it's...
I'll fucking suck your dick, please. I'll do anything. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your fucking shit. I'll eat your fucking shit. I want you.
It's because the writing is written. Not that the boys win. It's that the Homelander loses. And when you do that, you have to take shortcuts. You have to ignore certain things. I've always said this. The boys introduce things that they don't want you to think about the next episode. So it's like Homelander can't run away from the boys or Kimiko, but Homelander can keep up with A-Train. Homelander doesn't hear Butcher and Kimiko coming, but he can hear Frenchie tap on a wall. They just want you to ignore things. It doesn't make sense. Homelander was held down by Kimiko, Butcher, and Ryan, which are not stronger than Butcher. Homelander tipped V at that point. Soldier Boy, the strongest soup in the universe, and Huey, another soup. They don't want you to think about that. The boys, everything about the boys falls apart when you think about it too hard. Not even think about it too hard. When you just think about it just in general, it falls apart. It doesn't make sense for Homelander to keep Butcher alive. Every time he's seen Butcher, he could have lasered him in half. But he literally saves Butcher. And it's like, Butcher finally gets the opportunity to kill Homelander, and he does. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, did you really win? It don't even feel like Homelander won. I mean, the boys won. Homelander had hundreds of times to kill the boys. But he didn't do it. Just simply because he was strong enough, he didn't have to. I don't feel... They tried to do this moment with Frenchie and Kimiko. I thought it was cringe. I didn't really feel bad for Frenchie dying. Mainly because he should have been dead. No, I really feel bad for is Anthony Starr. And it's funny because the boys is already setting up for like future universes, which in my opinion aren't going to exist. You don't have Homelander anymore. We already know there's The Boys Mexico. There's Vault Rising. Vault Rising might do well. I don't know if he'll do as good as The Boys. It depends how much screen time Soldier Boy has. If Soldier Boy is like the main character with the most screen time, I think I could see Vault Rising being good or entertaining. Uh, If but the Boys Mexico, no. And like I've already said this, but Anthony Starr was robbed. You know, he could have had a legendary character, which I guess you could say he kind of does. But I don't know. I feel like Homelander will only be remembered for his last moments and not his best moments. But I guess it was more important to have Homelander scream and cry like a bitch because that's how you want to see Trump. Why do so many writers do this? So many writers come out and just they ruin a show. Like the boys was never like high art. It was never supposed to be like a Sopranos or a Breaking Bad or Altered Carbine. But it was supposed to be fun. Like a live action anime. It was supposed to be fun. It wasn't fun though. Like at the last moments when like Homelander's begging for his life, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to cheer like, "Oh, you finally deserve this." I'm more just like, I'm not interested. I'm just like disappointed. Like, I guess like that 7 years in the making. Like it doesn't feel satisfying. Like Homelander should have killed him. Like I've seen, but people say a better ending would have been for Homelander to live without powers. That would have been fine. It would have been better ending for Homelander to have his legs crippled and then walk away and let him live. He's powerless. He'll never get his powers back. But, the whole seeing Homelander being God. I've never read the boys comics. So I wish they would have kept it accurate though. I'm never a fan of changing the source material, especially when it's not for the better. Yeah, there's it's so bad. Like, what was the point of Firecracker? What was the point of Black Noir's death? All that was just to pad the runtime. It added nothing to the story. Um, the Deep dies. I don't know what that's about. I mean, the Deep should have been dead. The Deep was a terrible fucking character. He wasn't. He's not funny. You know, the thing about like dick jokes, they're funny the first time, but when you do it every time you're on screen, it's not funny no more. At that point, it's just a trope. And then you have Huey versus Butcher. Oh my god, I hate how Butcher is portrayed as a bad guy. Butcher's not a bad guy. I don't know why the show tries to portray him like that. Butcher's right. And guess what? You know why the writers didn't release the virus into the universe? It's so they can have another Homelander. Because Soldier Boy is literally stuck in a fucking tube. So if he does release the virus, Soldier Boy dies. If Butcher releases the virus, there's no potential for spinoffs. But Soldier Butcher's right. In the real world, releasing the virus would have been better for everybody. In a good writer sense, they would have been like Butcher. He would have been like, "Hey, can we have Kimiko take away Starlight powers first?" It's like, you're right. Because we only care about Starlight. Like Huey literally chooses one Starlight over billions of innocent lives. Which Butcher's right. There will be another Homelander. We already know the boys want to do spin-offs. There's going to be another evil guy who just kills shit to kill shit. That's what the boys Mexico. There's obviously going to be some guy who's super evil who we don't know how to defeat. and it's very bad. The show had so much potential. The acting, Billy Butcher, Anthony Starr, or Carl, I forgot his real name, but Billy Butcher, Homelander, Soldier Boy, they carried the show on their shoulders, and they carried a bad show. Let me clear that. They carried a fucking bad show. Not a good show. They carried a bad one. Homelander, obviously the MVP of the whole show. Soldier Boy is my second favorite character. And then Butcher. But bad writing, you can never carry bad writing. No matter how good of an actor you are, you can't carry bad writing. You can only make bad writing look good. And at the end of the day, The Boys will be forgotten in a few months. It could have been remembered as something great. A lot of fun TV shows are remembered. It's things like Alter Carbine is still remembered to this day. Movies like Undisputed are remembered. The Fast and Furious franchise will always be remembered. The Michael Bay Transformers movies are remembered. You don't have to be like a super high art. Being fun is good enough as long as the writing is entertaining. No one's asking this show to be high art. Shows like The Wednesday and One Piece TV shows will be remembered for a very long time. But when you boil down your show to Trump bad, you're not going to be remembered. You won't even. Trump will be remembered longer than your TV show. That's supposed to be a hit piece. But, I guess you're not supposed to think about that. But hey, that's The Boys, Season 8. Or Season 5, Episode 8. 7 years just to have a Homelander say, I'll suck you off and I'll eat your shit on live TV. We went from Season 1 Homelander, who made the viewers go quiet when he was on screen. When he touched someone's shoulder, you were scared that they were going to die. That's what we went to. That's what we went from. And that is just a joke. They make fun of Christians. But I guess peace. I'll send a video and
I'll fucking suck your dick, please. I'll do anything. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your fucking shit. I'll eat your fucking shit on my TV.